2.
What's going on, you guys? We are officially live in the studio today with the man Agaziy. And for those of you guys that are joining us on the live stream, I see you, I'm looking at you, I acknowledge you. M2 Luxuries. We got, who else we got on the live today? M2 Luxuries, D-Spin. Got the man C, Santos, Cindy. Cindy, thank you for joining us. You are amazing. I can't wait for you to tell us how we did today. You're always on the lives and you're always learning. And for
Cindy's a real one.
She is,
she's
right?
A real one.
Yeah, she's awesome. So guys, if you're watching this right now on a live stream, I want you to go ahead and leave your @ for Instagram or leave your Instagram username. I want to be a part of your guys' journey. We want to be a part of your guys' journey. So we're going to be following up and keeping tabs on you to see how you apply the information that Agaziy is about to share today.
Exactly.
So yeah, man, I'm pumped to have you in the studio.
Man, thank you for having me, man. It's like family, man.
Yeah, it is.
I'm
awesome.
here.
Yeah, and this is the very first time we do a live in here.
Exactly, man. It's going to be amazing. Just like John mentioned, my name is Agaziy. I'm going to do the same as everybody else. Let me put my IG handle out there. So first and foremost, my business is a nonprofit. It's TYLV Clothing, and that's the Instagram handle. So please, 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 you guys support that initiative. Right now there's a crisis in northern Ethiopia, which the region is called Tigray, where a genocide is occurring. So if you guys can support, reshare, purchase some merch, I would definitely appreciate that, and it would definitely go a long way in helping people. But I also have my own brand. I am a brand myself, so at _stylism_, and that's spelled STYLISM. So definitely you guys add us on those IGs. So
yeah, make sure you guys are following this man. So this guy, before we start jumping into telling everybody how they're going to be selling, by the end of this call, we hope that you guys are like ready to sell the shirt off your back, like literally, right? Like that's what you're about to learn. Here you go. This is a medium or a
exactly, and this is limited edition.
Right.
So you're gonna have to pay a little extra. Exactly. It was on me, right?
Exactly, one of a kind T-shirt. You guys are going to be learning how to sell, and I think this is a topic that a lot of people always bring up. They say, John, you know, I need more help on how do I close sales? How do I make sales for my apparel, right? So there's a lot of different sales videos that we've seen.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of things like how to sell real estate, how to sell, what else is out there?
Real estate, cars, insurance, solar, so anything that is big in money, but
apparel's not there.
And apparel's not there. What about a shirt?
Yeah. What about
some jeans?
Yeah.
What about a hat?
Exactly,
like, you know,
yeah.
We want to know how to sell those items, right?
Exactly, guys. So if you guys are joining this right now, go ahead and leave what it is that you guys want to learn how to sell today, right?
Exactly.
Just go ahead and leave a comment. Let us know, hey, I want to learn how to sell this garment or this brand. Go ahead and leave it there so we know, so we can apply some of the information, and any sales related marketing questions, leave them in here as well. We're going to be answering them through this live stream. So yeah, so as we are coming on, I see that Nick Ponce, Rudy Roma, Hopefully Created Designs, Victor Chang, Squadron, San Francisco. That's what's up, man. I like the name. I like the name Squadron. It's like Squadron.
Squad.
Sarah and Rich Life, myself. She wants to learn how to sell herself.
That's the first thing you need to learn how to sell is yourself. Yep.
Exactly.
So Sarah, you got it. You
Yep.
got that vision already.
Awesome, guys. Hey, Kimberly, Caleb, how are you? Very good to see you on this live chat. Again, we're going to be learning. We're going to be diving into some things and just having a conversation. So leave your comments in the chat. And let's jump into that, Agaziy. How is it that you became, so tell us a little bit about your background, but more importantly, how did you come to become this like amazing salesperson? I met Agaziy like 2 or 3 years ago.
Boy, no, like 8
oh no,
years
yes,
ago.
right. At CSN back in the day.
Boy, 8 years ago. When we was nothing.
Yeah.
When we was taking buses together.
Exactly, for real. Like
For
literally,
real.
we went to a community college together. He was in the what? You were also in the business 101 class.
Yeah.
Business 101 class.
You guys presented in my class.
Exactly. We were trying to sell,
us.
right?
Yeah, you guys pitched us in our class.
Oh, bro, I got stories about that.
I was like, oh. Here we go.
Yeah. So tell us, how did you get into it?
So I guess I can start with baby stylism when I was a little kid. So a little bit about me. I have a lot of passion when it comes to selling. So, you know, I was one of those kids that, I remember my first initiative was when I was in junior high, me and my little brother. You know, we come from families that are, again, you know, refugees. So my parents didn't make the most money. So we wanted things, you know, we wanted the cool clothes, you know, we wanted all of that. So, you know, we, instead of asking our parents, we try to figure out a way to get that money, right, in a legal way. That's the key, right? So I remember us coming up with the scheme, you know, to sell candy. So we would ride our little bikes to Smart and Final, break down the numbers, save all our lunch money, buy the candy, and then in turn upsell the candy for like $1 that normally people could get for 50 cents or whatever. And you know, at that time it may not seem a lot, but we were making $30 a day, and you know, we was
at like what, 9 years old?
Exactly. Well, you know, at that age, you doing big things, you know. So all the homies was asking us for $1 to borrow because they already knew what it was. So you know, for us, it was very it built the foundation of understanding how to sell. And so, you know, as the years went on, I became known as the candy man in school. So, you know, I took that into high school, where I just leveraged that a little bit more. And then it went from selling candy to being more a part of organization. So like, you know, I was a part of our Black Student Union and stuff like that. So we would leverage and sell like beef jerky and like fundraising activities just to ensure that we are able to do these extracurricular activities, you know. I'm locally in Las Vegas, so I went to Desert Pines High School. Shout out to DP.
Back in the day.
That's my soil, exactly. Back in the day, you already know what DP about. So for me, it was really important to be a part of the community, but also to help in areas that I felt like I was really good in. So selling was something that I felt like I was naturally good at. And then as I got older, you know, I went into more of the fashion world. So I've worked in retail for over 12 years. So, you know, and then within there, I did also, when it comes to selling, I've done the hardest, which is like, I feel like door to door, which is the cold selling.
That's super hard, man.
That's
a
whole different breed. Yeah, that's a whole different breed. I've sold cars before, so I've sold like, you know, higher merchandise. And then again, within solar, selling solar as well, that was something that was a higher price point, more of a commitment. So getting that education of selling different price points allowed me to kind of educate myself and be solidified in understanding what sales is. But my passion is selling clothing, like, period.
No, and he does it gracefully. He closes sales gracefully. If you guys are watching right now on the live, or if you're watching this on the replay, leave a comment right now about the first thing that you guys sold.
Period.
I remember the very first thing I sold was, you know, I was more of a trader myself. So like, so my upbringing, similar to yours, my parents came from Mexico. So they, you know, my dad worked construction. So he was working out in the field every day. He'd come home sweating, and, you know, he wasn't able to necessarily purchase what we needed. So we ended up going out and getting it ourselves. So what one of the things that I did was I always traded things. Like I would find out what people in the schoolyard wanted, like, and
not
then,
Pokemon cards.
Yeah. So like back then was like Pokemon was hot.
Yes.
But because I didn't necessarily care too much about Pokemon, but I had a nice collection that I was like trading, right? I ended up trading Pokemon cards for like Game Boys, Nintendo, like the video games themselves, to like high-end stuff, like literally $150. I'd come home and then my mom would be like, "Where did you get this Game Boy?" And I'm like, "I traded Billy and then Steve, he wanted this and I got it." And she's like, "This is stolen." And she'd go to the school and I'd be like, "No, it
sounds like my mom."
So like I was more of a trader, more of like how do we trade and make everything a win-win, right?
Yeah, like a barter.
Yeah, like a barter. And it wasn't until I got into high school that I started to sell more of the things that I knew I needed to sell, right? But my true selling story, which maybe a lot of you guys can relate in terms of starting a brand, Agaziy mentioned that I met him at CSN, right? And I think that was the very first time that I knew I needed to really know how to sell.
Right.
Because we finally created a product and we were like, yo, how are we gonna get this out? People need to wear it, so where do you go to sell a backpack? Like we can't get into Nordstrom or into these retail stores. We're just getting started. But where do people need backpacks? At school. On the very first day of school or a few weeks before, right? So literally that was my first selling experience, was going to the colleges and selling college students backpacks. And I got a funny story about that. I'm pretty sure you remember, but we would carry this big trash bag, hefty trash bag full of backpacks. And we'd walk in there into the classroom looking like Santa Claus with backpacks on our backs, and we'd open it up and we'd say stuff like, this is 100% polyester, super high quality, durable, as we're taking them out of these hefty trash bags. And it wasn't until we got feedback from people that were like, yo, you keep talking about how quality your products are, you should stop bringing them in a trash bag.
Exactly.
And that's when I found out about presentation and skills in sales, right?
The merchandising
the merchandising of how you're going to sell.
But like, basically, you know, I've known John for a minute. You know, I connected with him through my cousin, Medine. So just seeing your guys' mindset, and that's the first thing people have to understand. You have to have the right mindset to sell, you know. You guys have the right mindset. Everything else is going to develop over time, but you guys literally, every time I saw you guys were 10 toes down in it. Like, regardless, you guys were going to sell something. So I really, really saw that and saw that passion behind it. And can nobody tell you no after that? Yeah, so your first item was the backpack that you sold, right?
Yeah, exactly. So right here in the comments, we got people saying they sold T-shirts and cookies. I used to sell toys I didn't play with anymore.
Period.
That's genius right there. I'm going to try to make Alina get on that.
No, Nintendo games, bro. That was probably the first thing we were out there switching, selling, all of that.
They said cookies at church. The first thing I sold was Pogs. I remember Pogs. Those things were like,
yes.
I never learned how to play Pogs though. I think you have to hit it down or something. I just remember that heavy coin.
Yep.
Kool-Aid packs. We got Kool-Aid packs.
Oh, remember sugar. When we used to, like, we did a, this is kind of hood for y'all, but remember you had the ice trays?
Yep,
and you put the Kool-Aid in
yep.
and put the toothpick? They used to sell them for 25 cents. Y'all come from where I come from, y'all already know that's what y'all used to do.
Free popsicles,
I swear to God.
That's 100%, that's like 1,000% markup.
That's when your parents wouldn't let you go to the ice cream truck because they thought, like, there was something wrong with it. Like, they were like, no, we got to get it from the store. Like, nah, we want to go to the ice cream truck. So you had to do those popsicle sticks. So, yep, so I feel you on that.
My mom would have said the same thing. Learn to sell product or services that people need.
Period.
Started where you are indeed. Pencils and Goosebumps.
Wow.
Hey, that's actually, I like the Goosebumps books. And those are always available at those like elementary school yard sale that they'd have. Yeah, pick them up for 25 cents.
Remember when, I don't know if your elementary school did this, remember they used to have those little fundraisers where you go to your families and you sell them and then you get prizes off of that?
I remember that,
I used to murder at that.
I always wanted the glasses with the rearview mirror.
But when you thought about it, you see how they scheming us. Like, they had these little kids running around getting money from people. Yeah. We never asked where the money was going. We were so fixated on those prizes, so.
That's lessons on building a sales team.
Exactly.
Right?
Bro, that just came to me right now. So yeah, thank y'all for that.
Man, that's
YouTube
genius.
Community.
The ice cream. We got Rudy Roma, who did clothing for Breakers back in the day. Homework stickers.
Yep.
For $5. Amanda did homework for the Slackers for $5. That's genius. Copy and paste.
I promise you, the smartest people was the people that wanted people to copy off of them, so they were like, taxing people, man, those are the ones, for real.
Awesome, man. So we heard a little bit about your story. Tell us about some of the lessons that you learned. So people that are watching this, some of the things that you learned as you were selling that kind of maybe held you back at first, but then you overcame. Like what's one of the biggest holdbacks that you had, and how'd you overcome that?
So one of the biggest opportunities I feel like I've had was the mindset, especially when I was younger. So, you know, when you're younger, you sometimes feel like, why do I have to talk to these people? I don't want to talk to them. You know what I mean? So you have that mindset. So I feel like I was engulfed in a lot of negative thought processes. And again, with sales, it's something that you have to have fun with. You know, you have to be proactive when it comes to engaging with people and getting to know them. And, you know, I think, you know, small talk in a more strategic way is going to be super necessary, and that goes all across, no matter what you're selling. So there's a foundation that you need to have to sell anything. So for me, some of the opportunities that I think other people may face is mindset, is, you know, telling themselves, like, I'm not a people person. You know, I don't like talking to people, or that's not what I like to do, you know what I mean? So getting myself out of that mindset, and then also educating yourself on what you're selling, and actually being strategic on how to kind of get yourself to be on board on what you're selling. So you know, a lot of people are like, how are you going to sell a product that might not be good? Is because a lot of people don't think it's not good. So they're in their mind making sure that they can stand behind that product because they're focused on the positives, you know, versus focusing on negative. You know, a lot of selling is really mindset control and being positive and being able to spin something into a positive. And it's a numbers game.
It is.
Yeah, you literally have to understand your numbers and stuff like that. So I think the biggest opportunity is mindset.
I think just to enhance and like kind of highlight that, I think we're always selling every day, right? We're selling ourselves, and you're really selling what you internally, subconsciously believe about yourself, right? So like that's where he's talking about mindset. You got to be in the right state of mind to be able to sell yourself wherever you get into a room, because the products that you're selling are an extension of you, right?
Yeah.
So like if you're not able to sell yourself, you're not able to sell what it is that you're trying to sell, which is your brand or products. And then from there, knowing and being educated, right? I think that's a huge key right here, guys. Is you got to be educated on the products that you're selling. So for us, when we were doing the bag game, you know, we already knew the questions that people are going to come at us with, like, well, how is this different from JanSport?
Exactly.
You know, like how is this going to be different from this? And because we knew that there was differences, we were like, yo, because JanSport doesn't give you a laptop sleeve and a pencil holder and, you know, all these like features that we had in ours. And then our materials and fabrics are better or the same as quality as JanSport, but you're supporting a business, right? Like you're not supporting a corporation. So you also have to know how your product differentiates. And if it's a t-shirt, what are some things that like some common pitfalls might be like, why do I need that shirt?
Exactly.
Right? So how do you overcome some of those obstacles for people that are trying to sell at an event for t-shirts or garments that are plentiful in the world?
Exactly. So basically, like John mentioned, like, you know, in regards to the backpack and understanding your product, right? So you were thinking of the opportunities before the opportunities even came to you, right? Before people voiced them, right?
Yep.
So that goes into understanding what could be the potential opportunity. So normally when I sell is I think of anything negative that somebody can think of in regards to the product that I have. So I would eliminate it before it even comes up. So that's selling 101. You know what I mean? So before they even get the opportunity, you're eliminating it. So when it comes in their head, like, oh, well, I really don't like a white shirt. I like a black shirt. But you already discussed that. You already established that. You know, you already corrected that. So when it comes in their mind, they're going to question themselves before they question you. They're going to be like, oh, he already answered that. He gave me an answer, so I can't even ask that question. So it's not even out in the atmosphere. They eliminate it from their mind. So then you're cognitively ensuring that their mind stays positive on the product, right? So you want a clear, logical mind to ensure that people are purchasing from you. So by eliminating these opportunities, they're not going to have anything that's going to cloud their judgment when it comes to making a purchase. And then again, that all goes into verbiage. How you're saying things, you know. You gave a good example of like carrying those trash bags and you know, bringing it in. So merchandising is key, but the same way you're presenting something, you yourself as a brand, you need to present the items in an appropriate way, being upbeat, you know, being strategic when it comes to your verbiage, your dialogue, how you're delivering the message. So with shirts, people can say sizing issues, right? Well, I usually wear a large, you know, but as we know, shirt sizes all differ, right? If you get a relaxed fit, somebody might be a medium. If it's a slim fit, somebody might be extra large. I've never met one person that wears one size and one size only, but everybody swears to God that if they're a large, that's all they wear is a large. I've never met one person that's only one size. So that should go out the window. So it doesn't matter. I can sell somebody an extra large who wears extra smalls. It's how you wear it, right? Depends on if you want it baggy or not and how you style it. So it's the aesthetics of it. So, you know, that color, you know, stuff like that, you know, materials, you know, stuff like that. So these are big opportunities that people get. And again, it's just that they're not confident in the purchase, and that's how I think.
Yeah, and I think some of the things that he's talking about too, guys, like these sales processes that he's starting to break down for us. It really applies even more so to live events, right? But it also applies to your online, right? So you need to have these types of questions being able to be answered through your website when you're not there, right? So you're always selling even when you're not there. When you're on e-commerce, people are looking to buy and they want you to sell them on why they should buy from you. Whether that means the design, the marketing, the branding that you put into it, the work that you did to create that community and being able to show that people are actually using it. So there's like a proof of concept or proof of market. But even more so, I think challenging yourself to go out to people like in the streets and selling them out of the back of your trunk or selling them in school is like the biggest lesson that you can learn. I mean, I really enjoyed the times that we were selling that way because it was way different. It was like you always had that little beat in your chest, like, oh, I'm about to go close. I'm about to go ask for the sale, right? Like,
exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's
so
really
like
cool.
so like John you've been in business for quite a while, right?
Yep, 10 years.
10 years. So John is somebody that has a lot of knowledge when it comes to branding and, you know, materials and fabrics and stuff like that, right? So right now, what is this? I would say this would be what, like a size large, but it's more of like a relaxed fit, right?
Yep, exactly.
So me selling to John would be more into understanding who he is as a person. So we call that the engagement portion, right? You're engaging a customer to understand their needs. Most of the time, customers do not know what they want. You have to tell them what they want. And then from there, by telling them what they want, they're gonna feel like they need it. You're creating a need for them, right? By understanding. So, you know, things that I've learned from you right now, you know, your family's from Mexico, you know, you are a businessman, you're really experienced with backpacks. So, you know, for me to sell a backpack to you has to be a high level backpack, right? You're into branding, you know, stuff like that. So if I'm gonna sell you something, I will sell you my business. I will sell you who I am as a person and see if you would be able to invest in that. And then through that, I'm not only gonna get the products to be sold to you, but it's gonna be a bigger scale, right? So when I'm talking to you, I can sell you clothes easily, but the whole process of talking to you would be, can I get you to invest in my business? Because you have a background of branding, you have a background in knowledge, so understanding who you really are talking to, and that's gonna be through the engagement. Within this process, all these aspects that I've learned from John is something that he just educated me on right now. But as you guys know, within selling, another key thing that you have to do is listen. And when you respond, you don't respond to respond, you respond to, through what they said. So reaffirming what they've said to understand. So now you feel like I've listened to you throughout this whole conversation, right? What does that build?
Right. Oh,
Trust.
Yeah,
It builds trust.
Sure.
Once you have trust, they're going to be eating from the palm of your hand, and after that, the product should speak for itself. If you can stand behind your product, the rest should be there. You know. So you know, my vision of selling it's a I call it the selling process, right? So the first portion should be engaging, right? You engage, you get to know them, and then you introduce the product. Whatever the product is, it could be something tangible, or it can be you. So you're introducing the product. And then from the product, you go into validation. You're validating why they need this. You're validating why it's important to them based off of the engagement that you got from them. We call it purposeful questions. You're asking purposeful questions. So I can say, what do you got going on today, right? You're like, hey, you know, what do you got going on today?
I got some meetings, some work, some outdoor activities in the evening, hopefully running.
Awesome.
Yep.
So things that I've learned from him right there is he's a businessman, but not only is he a businessman, but he does outdoor activities. So if I'm going to sell him a product such as apparel, I might want to sell him something that could be tangible for both, where he can go to the office and look presentable and then go out and run or do something as far as activewear, right? So something that is in between, right? So that already tells me what you got going on. So then when I go into selling you the product, then how I validate it would be like, hey, John, this would be amazing for you, especially on the days that you are working. You can transition it easy, because who wants to go all the way home, or who wants to change at the gym where you can just boom, boom, and then go home, right?
Right.
So it's just understanding how you engage, applying those purposeful questions, and then validating afterwards, and then after that, confirming the sale. Making sure that you retrieve their information, because you don't want to lose that customer. And that's probably another opportunity people do, is they'll sell something and they're so happy that they sold something. They're like, all right, have a good day, bye, take care. Like, nah, you can't. You got to maximize them, and then not only that, but you got to keep them in
your pipeline, right?
In the pipeline. Once you keep them in the pipeline, then you have somebody that is going to be longevity-wise for you. So then your business is truly going to grow.
Exactly. Wow, man, you really went in on this thing, bro. And and there's a couple people that are listening right now. One of them is, they just said that they're doing their first event on Saturday. I just saw that question. I just saw that comment. So the person that's doing the first event on Saturday, there's a question about coming from an introvert from Kimberly Caleb. Kimberly Caleb says she's doing, okay, Kimberly Caleb is the one doing her first vendor event on Saturday, and how does an introvert sell? This is a really good question. So you're doing a first live event, right? This means you're popping up, you're spending the time to set up either at a farmer's market, at an event that's in your community for your niche, for your audience. What is a good way for an introvert to sell?
So my opinion, if you're an introvert, the best way to sell is obviously through online, social media, different avenues. You know, you can have an iPad there where you can leverage the iPad as a source of a way to get sales through there and maximize it that way. That's a little bit more of a harder, long, like it's a little bit more extreme. Personally, for me, I would say network and get somebody that's an extrovert. So I would definitely leverage that, because in-person sales, you need somebody that is a personality that people enjoy. People normally buy from people. Just like people work for people and not work for companies. The product, if they truly want the product, they'll come out and seek it. But that's not where your business is going to grow. It's the 80% of people that may buy your product, but it's how you approach them. It's what you educate them about. So maybe sourcing somebody that can be that extrovert for you, or again, it's your mindset. Are you telling yourself you're an introvert, or can you develop and adapt to be an extrovert? And that's where it is. So a little bit, Kimberly, about myself. Growing up, I was an introvert. I was somebody that was told, you know, you're so quiet. How come you never talk? You know, in my mind, it was like, you don't have nothing interesting to say. I'm a little mean, but you know, that's one of the scenarios. But again, now that we came into the day and age where we can say who's an introvert or extrovert, I'm really a borderline. I love my peace. I love being to myself. I love alone time, but at the same time, I've adapted to be an extrovert, and that's through sales. Honestly, like I was able to gain that skill set through sales, and you know, I was fortunate. You know, we live in Las Vegas, so working on the Strip, you meet people from so many different like walks of life. It's crazy. So again, is making sure you have the mindset and just think like you're never gonna see these people again. You know, if you think that way, then even if you mess up to that one person, you know, that's practice. But the other million people that you're gonna follow up behind it, and you're gonna perfect your craft, those are the people that you want to think about. So I would say be strategic, have a game plan. I would say not only if you're setting up a booth, not only stand in a booth, but approach people. Because when you approach people, you're going to be maximizing your business. So you want to look at business that may not come in. So the people that are walking in are going to buy to you. People that walk up to your booth are going to buy no matter what. But how are you going to maximize your business? So you need somebody that's going out to people and introducing the product and branding not only you as a company, but themselves.
Most definitely. And I know at some of these events, people are like, well, you have to maintain your business to this booth. But it's like, if you're paying money to be somewhere, you better maximize your reach. Like a lot of these times, like Agaziy said, I'm definitely I started more as an introvert as well, and through putting myself out, like I remember a good friend, Biniam, rest in peace.
Yes, rest in peace, Biniam, man. That's my brother.
Biniam was like an amazing salesperson too, and like one of the things he did,
he's a personality.
He's a personality.
That boy, that's my brother, man.
So literally, he was like, "Yo, John, you want to learn how to sell?" I'm like, "Dude, I gotta practice more sales." He's like, "I'm taking you to the Strip," and I was like, "What are we gonna do at the Strip?
Swear to God.
We selling drugs?"
For real.
Like, no.
For real.
We selling water bottles.
Yes.
I was like, "Water bottles?"
Yes.
He's like, "We're about to make $5 per bottle." I was like, "Really?"
Bro.
And I remember we carried this big cooler. We were rolling it down, and it was like a briefcase-looking cooler. And we were going up to people, and he was like, go start selling. I'm like, what do I say? He's like, look for somebody thirsty.
That's why he was my brother. That's my brother, I swear. And then that's all a part of your game planning, so strategic game planning. So, you know, I always say be solution-based, not excuse-driven, right? So sell what you have. So, you know, if I have extra larges, damn right, I'm going to look for somebody that I think is going to wear an extra large and leverage it that way and go to them versus somebody coming to me. You know what I mean? If I only have white colored t-shirts and I know black is probably more popular, I'm going to leverage that. So within my engagement, I'm going to say, you probably have a lot of black shirts, huh, John?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So what do you think would maximize your closet?
Probably some lighter colors.
Or different colors,
Yeah,
right?
different
And plus,
colors,
because we were
designs.
going into the summertime, man, we have this white shirt right here. Let me show you real
Uh-huh.
quick, right? And then highlight and educate them on the product knowledge on the shirt, like, you know, the materials and all of that, and sell it up. And then within that, talk about what my brand is, and then hopefully at that time, I'm confident in selling, so I know you would buy. You know what I mean? So ensuring that this person will buy. So again, an aspect of controlling your customer. I think that's going to be really key too. Is not, you guys cannot be afraid to control your customer. Like, you know, tell them what they should buy. You know, not really give them an option. You know, so for me, I always say, people don't have an option to buy with me. You know, so I'm going in there with the expectation that you're gonna buy.
Right,
So
right.
yeah, so just understanding what that mindset really takes, like how long it takes to have that mindset to say, like, this person has to buy from me.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
there's no option.
Right, dude, that's powerful, man. And that's years of training, years of doing, right? So like when we did that water bottle thing at the end of it, I was like, holy shit, I can go up to anybody and sell them something now. Like it was like a whole day, we were sweating. You know, the cops came and took our took the cooler. Almost gave us a ticket. I was like, yo, we're out. You know, so honestly, like, just putting yourself out there, I think a lot of times is really the key point to developing yourself. Like, if you know you're weak at something, and you know that you need to be at least a little bit better, it doesn't necessarily have to be like you have to do a 180 and become a professional salesman, but you need to know how to sell, right? Because
Exactly.
like the people that you're bringing onto your team to build a team, they also need to, you need to be able to understand the processes that they're going through, right? You need to be
Right.
able to know that, they need a pipeline, they need good follow-up, they need the right tools to help sell, right? So if you're sitting back always waiting for somebody to come in and do the sales for you, you'll never really understand what's involved and how to maximize that, right?
Exactly.
So right now I want to take it to some of the comments. There's a lot of people in the chat, guys. This is awesome. If you're watching this, leave a comment with a question that you'd like us to answer. We'll definitely be answering those. Kimberly's gonna say she's stepping out of her comfort zone.
Yes,
inspired
let's
her.
go.
She's doing
Let's
it.
go, Kimberly.
Let's go, Kimberly.
And then Kimberly, please let us know. Reach back out and let us know how it went.
Tag us on
yes.
Instagram when you set up your post. Tag us. We want to follow you.
Yes, we want to ensure everybody's success. You know, there's success for everybody. So let's all go out there and really, like, make our dreams come true. That's really what it is.
Most definitely, guys. That's why we started this channel. We wanted to, really help bring people out from the ideas that they had. Maybe they don't have the right circle of influence or the right background, right? They don't have the right connections. We wanted to make it where we open the door for you. And through this live stream, through our YouTube videos, we do that. And we also have the FromTheGroundUpAcademy.com, which is a more in-depth, step-by-step, personal type of group where we work with a lot of different entrepreneurs. So if you guys are starting up a brand, more specifically, if you're looking to really expand on your cut and sew, the cut and sew game, make sure you guys are checking out From the Ground Up Academy, where we have an A to Z course, a monthly training calls like this. We have calls with different guest speakers that come on and teach you about all kinds of things that you're going to need to know in your business. So,
and just to piggyback off of what John said, there's worksheets. There's so many opportunities to better yourself within this academy. You have one-on-one lessons. You have a whole community that you guys can gain knowledge from. Also, like, networking abilities to get things done a little bit cheaper, cost-effective ways to really ensure that your branding is there, marketing, questions answered. So, like, this is definitely ideal for people that really want to brand themselves. And again, people that are really taking things seriously, So this has helped me out a lot. A lot of my community members know me for doing TYLV clothing and creating awareness on Tigray and what's happening back home. So again, John has helped me a lot when it comes to ensuring success within that community. And for us to be able to raise so much money to help people back home, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. This is why TYLV is being successful and how it is. So again, I definitely urge everybody to do From the Ground Up Academy. It's a great initiative. It's a great opportunity for you to grow.
Most definitely, man. And right now in the comments from we have hopefully created designs. This is actually one I was going to ask you, so this actually came out really good. She's asking, how do you build a team to automate your business through networking, and how do you network with trusting experience like, let's say, website designers or low budget? So let's start with answering, how do you build a team to automate your business, right? So a lot of people watching, you're probably wondering, how do I increase my sales? How do I start selling more products at events? How do I find the right extroverts, right? How, in your experience, since you've been working with a lot into retail, you've been directly in charge of hiring for the retail, and now you're in charge of hiring with us too, which is awesome. I see how you work. What tips or advice do you have for people to build out their sales team or their network that they're going to need to succeed with their brand?
So networking for talent is a couple of things. So number one, being able to actually network appropriately, meaning going to the correct places that can give you quality people, right? So if you want somebody that is in sales, go to the malls, scout, you know, see who has good customer service, you know, pitch them your brand and ideas. So again, that's a part of selling. So you have to be able to sell, but scouting is very key. I love scouting because again, you can see somebody within their everyday life. You know what I mean? So again, you really realize what their work ethic is, because you're not coming to them as a person like saying, hey, I'm with this company, how I usually scout is I go into a store and really shop. I love shopping, so I would just go and shop and see who has good customer service, because that's gonna show you that their work ethic is like that consistently. Which again, for me working in retail, that's what validated my skill set and taught me that okay, you are good at what you do, because I got so much good feedback from my customers saying, oh my God, you're amazing. Like you should be doing something different, right? So scouting is very key. Also too, if you don't have like an HR background or whatever, I'm big on, you know, you can also get the knowledge, and I'm big on educating yourself, but also too, if you have a great product and the demand is there, expediting that by finding the people that is good in that area, right? So being skilled at interviews, like what does an interview look like? You know what I mean? So that you can ensure that you're getting the right people on the team. And then one thing that we've been working on is processes. By creating a process, you are going to be able to get these people in and out. So like your onboarding process has to be on point. What kind of training are you going to give to these people? Because you can't just expect people to come in at that level, right? And if you do, then you got to understand you're going to have to pay those people some type of money. So I'm more of thinking, if this is a brand startup, so you got to be more green. So when you're more green, you got to ensure that the processes are so on point that anybody can come and go from the business, and that the business runs itself. You know what I mean? So I would say building your team in that format. If you're somebody that wants to educate yourself on everything, definitely I would suggest, if you're not already part of the academy, come join the academy, because that's going to give you all of the knowledge that you're going to need without having to seek knowledge from different areas. And then this knowledge is literally something that is solidified, guaranteed, that you're going to be successful if you put in the work. Now, that's the catch. You have to put in the work. You can't just sit back and think your brand is going to grow itself. It is not easy. It's so much hard work. If I told you how many hours I put into this nonprofit, let alone me, but my team, and it's a nonprofit, we're not getting paid for it. So understanding that something besides money has to motivate people, because money sometimes doesn't move everybody. So that why, which I'm sure you guys seen in other YouTube videos where they say, you know, this is how you're gonna sell a house, or this is how you're gonna sell a car, you know, these hacks and stuff, but really you have to have a why. What's gonna put that battery in your back to keep pushing forward after you're tired, after you come home from your 9 to 5, to you know, facilitate those orders and distribute those, and go to the post office and do all the things that you might have to do, or go on your Shopify, look at the business analytics, and you know, set up meetings and stuff like that. So that's going to be super important. I mean, you can touch on it.
Yeah, most definitely. I think I mean, over the years we've had various people in different roles for our company, and more recently it's been a little bit more solidified. And I think the one thing I definitely want to share that I wish I would have learned earlier is the systems, right? So when you're just getting started, sometimes the systems are a little like, well, what is a system for this, right? You don't really know what you're grasping for, right? You're just like, okay, I know that I need to put out designs. I know that I need to make products. I know I need to market. I know I need to sell. You know the key components of what's driving it, but in order to start building the team to help fuel those components, you need to have systems in place for each of those processes. So, for example, when it comes to like the designs of your apparel, right? When you're designing something, as you're designing and creating that direction, you should be writing down what you're doing to create those design directions.
Exactly.
Because as you're writing it, you're like, okay, I went to Google, then I went to Pinterest. Well, first I came up with an idea, a direction that I want to launch for spring. Then I went to Google, then I went to Pinterest, then I went over here, then I watched some YouTube videos, like whatever
Exactly.
inspired you to come up with that direction. Even though sometimes you think like there's no tangible way to create a design, like as you're pumping out more and more designs, there's a process to finding which designs are going to resonate with your market. And you need to be able to write down each and every one of those steps that took to create that design in order, and then that design you verified was a hit because of the process that you went through. And now you could bring on a designer. You could say, hey, this is what our company's about. Usually when we create new design ideas, we go through this process. I want you to do this entire thing for us and present your top 5 ideas, right? From there now, because now you're stepping away from that design role and you're going into the entrepreneur, into the business owner role. Now people are presenting you with concepts. And since you know what your brand's about, you know that, our market likes this and this, then you know that, okay, these 4 designs are crap, but this one has potential, right? Like, let's go ahead and enhance it, do a little bit more research on this and this, and based on our analytics of sales, these colorways work better, right? People really like the red and blue or the yellow, and like based on our market, these are the colors that are gonna do well, so I want you to integrate more of this color into it. Right. Since you're doing this on your own at first, you'll start to get a better feel of what people want and what they're looking for in your product. But as you're doing it, write down the process involved with creating those designs, guys. That's just one aspect of it. Do that for the shipping. Do it for the logistics involved with ordering, meaning like if you guys are ordering different blanks, you know that you need to order samples ahead of time. Maybe you're sourcing from suppliers overseas. You know that the process that you're going into in terms of sourcing for materials or fabrics is X, Y, and Z. Like, first you're looking at this website, Alibaba, then you're going over to this trading website, now you're going over here, right? So you're writing out your steps. So then when you're bringing somebody on, like a virtual assistant, that's gonna be like getting you samples, you don't have to worry about like trying to train them and retrain them to figure out your exact process. So do that for every major role in the company, because at first it's gonna be yourself, guys. It's gonna be you on your own. But as you grow, you need to add people to key areas that alleviate you from having to do those minuscule tasks, and that way you can entrust people that are doing better, like people that are doing better graphic design than you could ever do. You could hand them your needs versus trying to help them understand how you work, right?
Exactly.
That's huge, and I knew that I needed to do that, and I started to do that with different roles in our company. But when Agaziy came in, he was like, like you got a process, but do you really have a process?
Yeah.
And he really set that on fire recently, man, and I think that's key.
And then like you mentioned, one of probably the biggest opportunities a business owner is gonna have is to let go. Trust and let go. It's kind of like a parent, right? A parent, no matter how old you get, they're gonna baby you. They're gonna feel like you can't do nothing because they can't let go. And as a business owner, this is your baby. So you just want to look at that as like in the same sense, and understand that there's times when you have to let go, because if you don't let go, the business will never grow. Just like if you don't let go of your kids, they're always going to be babied. And there's going to be a time where you might not be around because you're going to be doing other business endeavors that you want this business to really still be able to push forward. And I always say a business should run itself, right? Through the processes and things like that, So you touched on so many good points. There's a question that I wanted to answer because I think that's a really important question in regards to how to come up with interview questions, and I think that's going to be great. So number one, to come up with really good interview questions is you have to take a second and really understand what your opportunities are, your needs. So something that I discussed was for your company to develop, you have to develop yourself, right? So there's something called an individual development plan, which is called an IDP, something that will help you understand what your business needs as far as a bigger scale. So you can do a 1-year development plan, 2-year, 3-year, 5-year, whatever. So within that, you're going to understand really where your area of opportunities are. You know, not everybody's going to be ready to hire an HR person, right? You might have to be all of these cups, but you should be separating these groups, right? So within your business, you should have an HR person, right? You should have a sales team. You should have a distribution team. You should have a analytics team, logistics team, or whatever you want to call it, a training developing team, whatever. You know, in the beginning, you might be all of that. So the best way of formulating interview questions, obviously, there's gonna be people that provide interview questions for you, like just the basis, but it's really taking a look at what your opportunities are, meaning like, what do I need in here? And if you're hiring for a salesperson, the question should be tailored to sales, you know? What is your experience around sales, you know? Also, you know, engagement pieces, you know, add-ons, are they people that are extrovert naturally, you know what I mean, things like that. I believe an introvert definitely can be a good seller as well, but just understanding what their experience is, and then on top of that, establishing what your needs is as a business. So if my need is I need somebody to do cold calls, then I need to ensure that this person either has experience with dealing with cold calls, or they're confident enough to be able to get that complete. You know what I mean? So that was a great question, and I wanted to make sure we answered that question, because again, those type of questions are gonna probably hinder people from really going forward, because it's like, what am I supposed to do? You know, it's like that that fear of like, I've never done this before. So what is appropriate and what is not appropriate? So definitely take a second to really look at yourself, look at your company, and then formulate questions from that.
Most definitely. And everybody that's watching right now, leave a comment with something that we should answer either in this video right now or in a future video on our channel. We wanna be able to serve you here on YouTube. We have content on Instagram as well. If you guys are watching this right now, we have @_stylism_, and we got John X Santos on Instagram, which will all be linked in the description here. This video will be re-uploaded again. I wanna go ahead and acknowledge Sarah in Rich Life. She said ecosystem is key. Yes, you got to have the right ecosystem around you. So willing to put in the work. I understand it and enjoy it. From Hopefully Created. And Sarah again says, do your best and trust in the rest. That is true. And no, guys, this is everything that Agaziy is speaking on, and I want to expand on the part of knowing what it is that the person that you need to help you with your business, right? So this is something that even recently when you brought in a video editor, you know, I was just looking for somebody that was going to be able to do videos, but Agaziy was like, he was trying to figure out how detail oriented that person was. Like he said he was a very detail oriented. He kind of knew that he was, but now he was expanding on the detail oriented. And the whole time I was like, why are you expanding on detail oriented? And then he was like, because your wife needs somebody that's detail oriented. Exactly. And I'm like, wow, I didn't see that. But Agaziy did IDPs. He did IDPs on everybody that works here. And he found out, you know, areas of opportunity. We need somebody that's going to be detail oriented to work on the projects that she's got, because they are more detail oriented. They're more design focused. So because of that, guys, you need to know exactly what type of personality or what type of traits a person should have to fulfill those roles that you're looking to fill in your business. Because it's not just a person that's good at sales. It's not just going to be, hey, if you're good at sales, you're in, right? They also gotta be able to understand your business, right? They gotta have, if you're selling you know, a lifestyle brand, they gotta have some experience in retail, some experience in design, some experience in selling other brands, right? If they're a car dealer, maybe, I mean, unless they're a fashionable car dealer like Agaziy was, chances are they won't be a good fit.
Stop it.
No, for sure, man. And we got C's right now saying, "Are you hiring?" and paying me $5.
See, you're worth way more than that. You're worth way more than that.
For $4.99, I'll hire you. You're hired.
Yeah, for real. That's a steal right there. Yeah, and then I mean, Caesar brought up a really good point. You know, before you guys go out to hire, you know, one of the biggest things that I pride myself on is entrepreneurship and educating people on that. Make sure that your overhead costs can afford that. You know what I mean? You don't want to put yourself back because again, like that's not what you want to do. Again, I always work through ensuring success. So if I take a risk, the risk is success is there. You know what I mean? So, you know, I know people say in business, you know, go big or go home. And for me, I just want to always solidify myself as somebody that's successful. So whatever you do, just try to ensure success as best as possible. If you take risks, which every business owner should be taking risk no matter what, but it doesn't mean you have to go, it doesn't mean you have to double down, you know what I mean? You know, it doesn't mean you have to be all in on something, you know what I mean? So most successful business owners have different endeavors that can support each other business. So like if something is not doing well on one side, they have another business that can support their personal financial needs, but also the other businesses just in case.
No, most definitely, and I think that was a key point. Like even next week we have Gil who owns Pud Hut, and he's coming into the academy training that we're doing for this month, and he's expanding on how he started his brand on the side. He was working full time, literally full time at a car rental place. He was like a service manager. And then he'd come home at night and he'd create graphic designs and he'd sell them on Etsy. And he started to build up his brand through Etsy. So next week's Academy training call is going to be how do you take the designs that you're already creating for your brand and find a market on third-party platforms like Etsy, and how do you take that part-time hustle that you're doing after your full-time job and turn it into a full-fledged business? Because now he's got a couple dozen employees. He's printing every single day. Like literally, this guy started it on the side, and he found his niche, right? He found what he was good at. He found what he was passionate at. And he was able to go all in at like 2 years after. So he still worked his full-time job, even though he was printing good, he was making some good money. He still worked that full-time job because he needed to make sure that, you know, he had a family. And like a lot of people now, you know, they have families, they got kids to take care of. There's a lot of risk to just drop everything and go all in on your dream. You should still have a way to transition to that, and he's going to talk about that transition, because I know a lot of the people in this community are ready for that transition. So we'll explain that. We'll touch on how to maximize your print-on-demand game, because that's the kind of business that he's running. So so I'm excited to have that training as well.
That's going to be key, and that's going to really leverage people's brand to be a lot more efficient and effective when it comes to that, because, you know, a lot of us are doing a lot of work and we're not maximizing on our potential, especially if the demand is there. So definitely.
And then people that are right now watching, obviously there's a couple questions that were coming in regards to they have a site but they're not getting sales. How do they improve their sales on their site, right? And this really stems down to understanding who your customer is, right? Like Agaziy mentioned, at an event, you can see that the guy is an extra large, right? So you might go and approach him, and his style might resonate with yours. And you could sell them that way. Well, when you have a website, you have to think about it in a similar way. The products that you're selling, the people that are visiting the site, why aren't they buying? You got to figure out why they're not converting as well. And any conversion between 2 to 4% is pretty good. So you got to look at your stats too, and you can make improvements, tweak them a little to help it be more on the 4 to 5% of a conversion rate. But it's all about your retargeting of the pipeline, right? Like we were mentioning, you got to have every person that comes to your site, you got to be able to capture their information. If they don't buy a product, you captured an email. And through that email, you have a pipeline that now automates emails to them, maybe gives them a direct link to go to a sales page that you create on your Shopify store with an app like Shogun. There's apps like Shogun that allow you to create dedicated landing pages, right, that you then sell them on that specific product that they were looking at that they did not check out on. So for instance, if I'm looking at Tigray right now, right, this shirt, if it was advertised to me and I was like, yo, this is kind of cool, I dig the design, or I'm like, well, let me go check this out. And now I'm looking at it. I'm like, wait, $30 or whatever it costs, right? And I leave the cart, but I already had my shipping information in there. You already have like a way to retarget abandoned carts. Then what I would do is the email that you'd send out would link to the abandoned cart product that would then take them to the landing page that would say, this is the product that you were looking at, right? This Tigray, the inspiration from this design came from our Eritrean flag, right? Or Tigray flag. The words inside you may not have noticed, but it has all the states, right? Or all the cities in Tigray, right? So now, like, by supporting this, you're also supporting this nonprofit, which is which our goal is to stop genocide happening in our country, right? So now if I was thinking about checking out, now I know more about that specific product, and I'm like, yo, you know what? I'm gonna support because this is a cause I stand behind, right? So you guys got to think about it in the same way when you're building out your sites. You got to have ways to capture information. And you got to be able to sell online when you're not there to sell in person. But you're taking the same approach Agaziy was talking about.
And you know, there's a couple of things that I'm going to touch on because I did forget something super important when it comes to in-person sales and how to help that introvert out, which I'm going to establish after I discuss what you were talking about. So a lot of people look at marketing, and they look at marketing in such a way where it's all about pushing out things such as like videos and photographs and all of that, but merchandising is very key as well. How are you going to merchandise the product? So for me, I come from a stylistic background. It's not what you wear, it's how you wear it, right? So I can sell the shirt on its own and put it up, and maybe people might not want it. But if I put it together in an outfit in a way where it's aesthetically pleasing, the color scheme is there, more people are going to be open to wanting to purchase that just off of just marketing, right? So being sure that you are merchandising. So merchandising is a retail word. So it's how you put things together, how you fold, like how the presentation is when it comes to the product. Marketing is more of like the overall aspect of like the videography, the photographs, you know, the models wearing it and stuff like that, the lookbook and stuff like that. So it's how you're piecing these things together. So understanding that's going to help you leverage your online sales. And then descriptions when it comes to the product. I know as an online shopper, the more descriptive something is, the more confident I am going to be when it comes to purchasing that product, especially online. You know, you want to make sure the fit, the quality is going to be there, and what your money is putting forth, you're getting that in return, right? Like the quality, right? So everything that you're based on. Now, in-person sales, especially again, I'm going to circle back. Hopefully she's still on here when it comes to the introvert or anybody that wants to sell in person. Something that is key that again I want to highlight is role playing. Role playing is getting you ready for that action. There's nobody in this world that has not practiced before they get into the live scenarios, right? So like I always say, you know, I'm big in sports, so Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant is like my everything. So Kobe Bryant practiced every day. His mindset was, I'm going to practice because when game time comes, I'm going to be focused. That Mamba mentality, right? So by doing a role play, which maybe me and John can kind of show you guys what a role play is. And the best way of doing role plays is with somebody that might be more experienced than you, especially if you don't have a lot of experience in sales. So they can help and coach and develop you on the areas that you could do better, right? So role plays is like, you know, eliminating the opportunities before they come. What does an engagement look like? Making sure you're asking open-ended questions. You know, you don't want to ask a question like, hey, are you interested in buying a shirt, right? Why? What is that going to lead to?
Yeah, no. Or
yes or no.
Yeah.
That's it. It's 50-50.
50-50.
I don't like 50-50. If we know business, we want 100%.
Is it during the day or during the night?
Exactly.
50-50.
We good. We want 100%, right? So 50-50 is not good for us, you know, when it comes to that numbers. So, you know, making sure that you're asking open-ended questions such as like, you know, hey, where you from?
Or sell me the shirt. Like, I'm thinking of selling. I'm thinking of buying the shirt.
So this is how I normally do role plays, and role plays in regards to teaching people. So I actually have you do the role play first, and then we do something called a role reversal, so that you are educated on how I would do it, right? So then you can see both aspects, right? So you're selling me. We have a shirt here, Optical Illusion.
Optical Illusion. Huge shout outs to Melissa and her team.
Yep. So Optical Illusion.
Check this out, man. This shirt right here may look like a normal shirt to you, right?
Exactly.
But this thing is 100% cotton, super soft. Check this out. You see that? And I know that you're a guy that likes style and fashion. And one of the things right here is, on one side it says obstacle, but then if you're looking at it this way, backwards,
it says
it's illusion.
Oh, awesome.
So not only do you get the one design, which is obstacle, you get a stylized, which would fit really nicely with this shirt. Because like imagine the print inside. It's nice. It's a good design on the outside. So now you can style it with exactly what you got. So I can take that Tigre shirt, go wash it, and make sure that that it looks good, but I'll fit you with this.
Okay.
You know? So what do you think about getting this shirt right now? It's only $25.
25 bucks? I'll think about it. Let me ask my wife real quick, and then I'll definitely come back and think about it.
Does your wife wear the pants in the relationship, or you can't make a decision?
Every wife, let me look. Every wife, I'm gonna look at every camera. Wears the pants in the relationship, so everybody understand that, okay? Happy wife, happy life. If you ain't know, now you know. Amanda. Call Amanda up in here and straighten things out.
No, yeah, that was horrible. You put me on the spot.
No, that's amazing though. No, I mean, obviously, this is a learning lesson, right? So, I have this shirt, right? So, hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Just chilling. What do you got going on today?
Just about to wrap up a live stream in a few minutes, and then go ahead and make some phone calls and organize some shoots for tomorrow.
So you're working?
Working.
What do you
do? We do media, e-commerce, marketing, a couple branding.
For what?
For multiple brands for our studio.
Is it like for just anything, or is it like, what do you like hone in on?
Right. So we in our community for YouTube, we do apparel industry, manufacturing, design.
Oh, I'm in apparel.
Are you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I do styling and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, you
I
got
have my
nice
own
style, dude.
brand.
Right.
Oh, thank you, bro. You know I do a little something. You too.
Yeah,
I like the
thank you,
Dreamer
thank
shirt.
you. Yeah, this was somebody in our community made it, and I love it, man.
Yeah. See, the crazy thing about it is I'm a part of a community as well. So it's TYLB Clothing. So I have that. It's like a nonprofit.
Okay.
But today I'm actually, one of my friends, she has this, I believe it's Obstacle Illusion company. So the cool thing about this is, if you look at it, it has a really cool aesthetic when it comes to the design. It says obstacle, and then it has illusion on the other side,
That's
right?
pretty cool.
So yeah, so the material is really good. I believe it's 100% cotton. And also too, the coloring is really good for this for any day, every day, right? In regards to your job and what you do as far as branding and stuff like that, do you work with like startup companies and stuff like that?
I do. Yep.
Okay, awesome. So this is actually a startup company that I think you would be interested in working with.
That'd be cool. I like their design.
What do you? Yeah, no, the design is awesome, but like the whole brand itself, like the idea behind it is really super important. I'm just a salesperson, so I'll connect you with Melissa so that you can kind of have that conversation. But the shirt is actually only $25. Again, you're supportive of brands and stuff like that. I think this is going to be a great initiative. Do you want to pay cash or credit?
Oh man, I'm just looking at it right now.
Well, try it on, see how it fits,
okay,
because
okay.
I think the fit is going to be super important. It looks like you like more of a relaxed fit.
Yeah, this might be a little too skinny for me.
Well, I mean, this is a large. Everything is pre-shrunk, so this is something that's not going to shrink. But again, it is more of a relaxed fit.
Interesting.
But again, it's kind of like food, right?
Right.
You don't know what you like until you try it, right? So definitely try it on and see how it is. And we accept all payments, like Cash App.
If I try it on, do I got to keep it?
Oh, no. It's
optional? Okay,
Yeah,
it's optional?
Yeah, so try it on. But I guarantee once you try it on, you're going to keep it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably wear it out, actually, right?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, this is nice. I like how I could style it.
And the cool thing about Melissa, she's actually a local brand. So are you based locally?
We are, yeah.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
perfect. See,
So I'll be supporting one of my own.
Exactly.
That's cool.
So I'm gonna cut the scene right there, right? So this was like a real in life role play right now, and now what I would do as the coacher, the developer, would coach you on where maybe you went wrong, right, within your initial. So there wasn't really an engagement, right?
Yeah, I went straight for the sale.
So
yeah.
how do you feel like you came across?
Like I was pushing the shirt on you.
You were salesy, right?
Right.
Very salesy, right? So I was able to push the sell, but because I already engaged with you, I asked you questions, I got to know you, and we solidified that we have a lot in common, right? We're both into branding, I do styling, so again, I'm selling more than just a shirt. I'm selling Melissa, I'm selling her brand, I'm selling who she is, I'm selling local, I'm selling so many aspects that like it's gonna be hard. And then when I presented you the shirt, there was moments where I slipped up where, again, I want to make sure I'm transparent with you guys. I did slip up, right? I couldn't really read what the shirt said because this is like, something I'm on the spot. But again, when you mess up, you got to continue to perform. You got to you can't like hesitate on that. You got to move forward because we're all human. We're all going to stumble. We're all going to stumble on our words, right? So I didn't let that affect me. I moved forward, right? So moving forward and ensuring that, hey, I'm gonna show you the shirt. So now you are sold on the branding aspect. Now this is a shirt that I want you. So you told me no, right? Again, as far as sales, you should always get 3 no's, right? I only got 1 no, and I'm not gonna allow that to happen, right? Like, so that no doesn't, it's just, whew, I didn't even hear it. So the next step is having them either try it on. If they can't try it on, have them put it up against their body, you know, taking a picture of it with them against their body so they can see what it looks like, you know what I mean? And if somebody sees you doing all this work, they're basically gonna buy it just because they're like, this person ain't playing games, you know? How many people are really selling like that? You have to differentiate yourself. Not only is your product got to be different, but you as an individual have to be different when it comes to selling, right? So ensuring that. And then after that, what did I not give you? I gave you a close. When I closed,
cash or credit. It wasn't no.
That's called an option sell, right? The option is either cash or credit. So that means I'm going to get to sell 100%. But it's either you're going to pay cash or credit. So that's called an option close. You're closing them with the mindset that they're going to buy the shirt. And again, we got to remember, $25 isn't an investment in our world today. Some people it is, but again, it's not really an investment. So that should be how you're able to sell, especially if you're confident that you engage them correctly. So then at the end, they might feel like I was being pushy, but at the same time, I already engaged them. I know John. I understood, like, you know, what he was doing for the day. You know, I understood that he was into branding, marketing. We engaged on that. We could have probably had like a 30-minute conversation based off of that, right? So making sure that you do your due diligence to truly engage the customer. Right? Remember, it was engagement. I asked purposeful questions, meaning like, where is he from? What is he doing today? You know, what exactly is he honing in when it comes to the branding? That's follow-up questions. And then I introduced the product. Then when I introduced the product, I validated it because I said, hey, do you like working with smaller brands, like starter brands? That ensured that this t-shirt is more than a partnership. Right? I mean, more than just a product. It could be a partnership, right? And then validating that and then closing the sale. Then the last thing I wasn't able to show you guys was receiving his information, so for future purchases.
Right.
So this is something that would be key.
That's fire, bro. That's fire. Especially because a lot of times when you start selling at first, you kind of have somewhat of a script that you're trying to go off of, and you can't be a candid script. It can't just be, I'm going to start with this, say this, and this is my pitch about the company, right? You gotta relate to them, and you gotta be able to find those pieces of information they give you, because at the end of it, after I buy this, right? If I'm literally at an event and somebody told me that, I'd buy it, right? So the main thing is that afterwards, when I'm wearing it, I could actually tell the people, like, yo, check out this shirt, Obstacle, Illusion. It's a local brand. I think her name was Melissa.
Exactly.
Right? Like, literally things that I'll remember because it's me. It's because it's something that I relate to.
And how I communicated to you was how you wanted it to be communicated. So ensuring that the product knowledge is done in an appropriate way. So, you know, this is super key when it comes to selling product. You know what I mean? Is understanding, like somebody mentioned on there, it's more of a persuasive. So it's persuading them. So I always say when you are selling somebody something, people are more inclined to shop with their friend versus shopping with somebody that's selling to them. So me shopping with you would be shopping with you as a friend. You know what I mean? This was just one product, so I had to be a little bit more pushy, but at the same time, if I had multiple products, it would be more of like, hey, let's go shopping. What would you like? You know what I mean? Let's shop together, try this on, and then after that, aesthetically putting it together is gonna just validate it for them on top of it.
Most definitely, guys, and that's where stuff like lookbooks come into play. If you're doing it on e-commerce, same thing, guys. Like you're taking them to a journey of how they're gonna style it, how they can wear it, the story of the design, the story of the brand. When you're selling online or promoting on social media, everything that you do on Instagram, everything that you're doing on YouTube, TikTok, it's all selling what the brand and message is about, right? People buy into a message and a brand. They buy into the message first because they care about how you make them feel. Like how are you connected to them in that level? And then they shop around and be like, yo, I want to support. I want to buy this, right? So now it's easier for you to close. So a lot of the people that are looking and are saying, well, I have a website, but it's not making sales. Have you tried to tell the story of what you stand for, what this brand is about, how it relates to the person coming to the store? A lot of times that we do these kind of reviews on the site, people don't have any of that. I'm like, yo, this is a random brand. And sometimes it works if you're selling to niche markets, like people that like cats, right? You got a bunch of cat designs that you're speaking to them, though. They like cats.
Right.
So when you're starting a brand, it's a little bit more beyond just trying to hope that somebody visits a site and buys it. You want them to be emotionally connected to what you're doing. So yeah, so I hope that answered the question for online sales. You have to think in the same way. Everything that we're talking about here, you know, like it goes back to ancient times, back to the Neanderthals, right? When they were trying to sell to repopulate, right?
Exactly.
Like they guess, we make fire together, right?
100%. I mean, like you said, selling is a part of our everyday aspect. People may not realize it. You know, you may not be that good at it, but we're selling ourselves every day. So just make sure that you understand that you are a brand. And, you know, like John said, selling your story. You know, a lot of us may not want to be in the forefront, you know what I mean? I fight with that every day, and I do understand that sometimes my personality is what's going to push something forward, which I do understand that, but do I really want to do it? And that's where the mindset has to change. So again, remember that you're a brand, and, you know, people want to see, especially nowadays with TikTok and Instagram, they want to see how you go from nothing to something, from the ground up, quote unquote.
Yes, right.
So they definitely want to see that. So don't be afraid to kind of like show the back end of stuff. Like, you know, allow people to really to see how you grow, you know, from 0 followers on Instagram to 1 million, you know, because then those people that started from day one are always going to be indebted to you, because they're going to feel like, oh, we were day ones, you know what I mean? And you're just building something that they are going to be able to be super confident in, because they saw you grow, and you're giving inspiration out, you know. So again, one of the biggest things I know John specifically is here for is to inspire others, and he's inspired me in so many different ways. Coming here, seeing his studio, seeing him grow from taking the bus.
Yeah, exactly. You've seen it from the ground up.
You know, me being a knucklehead and going into these conference rooms and being like, hey, let's just go to the lake instead of going to the class and stuff like that. So I've been inspired so much, and it just kind of woke me up to say, like, I know I can fulfill more than what I've been doing. And so whoever you have in your circle, if you don't have anybody, definitely then from the ground up is super important for you. You need to build a circle of people that's going to motivate you, not people that are going to put doubt in your head, not people that are going to be negative and say, hey, I don't think that's a good idea because, you know, A, B, and C. You need people that are going to support you, that's going to be like, hey, I'm going to buy a shirt. Let me order. Like, you know, question these people that are around. Like, you know, everybody's a dollar sign. Everybody has a wallet. Everybody. I don't care who they are. You know what I mean? So everybody, whether they're in junior high or what, everybody has a wallet. Most people have money. So, you know, look at everybody as a dollar sign, and, you know, then go forth and say, like, who's going to support you and support what you got going on.
Most definitely, guys. And everybody that joined this live today, and if you're watching it on the replay, please leave a comment, because we're going to be making a bunch of new content. We're right now actively producing things that are going to be going live in May. We're working on stuff for June. So anything that you guys feel that you need help with or need some clarity on, let us know, because we're working on all that. And again, we're super appreciative for you guys to be joining us on this channel, on this live call. Joseph, Gabriel, Baltzar, appreciate you. Angel, 4 p.m. I like it, man, 4 p.m. What happens at 4 p.m.? Is that when the day starts, or is that when the day ends?
Hey, Chris K, reach out to @_stylism_. I have an amazing graphic designer. His name is Daniel Burhay.
Top notch. He's actually really
he is
good.
top notch. He does all my graphic designs. His turnaround time is really quick, really professional. So if you need anybody, please reach out to me, and I'll be able to connect him to you. And again, that's on Instagram. It's @_STYLISM_.
Yep, and I'll comment it real quick. But it's also we're also going to be putting the information. It's going to be right in the description of this video, guys. So if you click on that expanded button, you'll see his link directly, and you can click over, message him, connect with us. This is the first live of this year, I think, on YouTube. I think it's the first time we went live. So for those of you guys that are watching the game, Angel, Gigi, Giga Guru, Freedom, Zero Fear Co., Chris K., Apostolic Apparel, Chris K. Man, appreciate every single one of you guys that are watching this on the line. Shailene. Awesome, guys. Thank you guys for joining us in this live. This will be the first of many to come. We're going to try to do these every month at the very minimum, putting ourselves out there, doing a new format. And so leave a comment on what you'd like us to talk on or expand on in future content. And Agaziy, thanks again, man, for being on this call.
Thank you, brother,
You're the
man.
bro.
I appreciate you. Thank you for having me. Thank you to all your viewers. Just, I appreciate this. This is an amazing space, so thank you for allowing me to just be me authentically.
Man, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed these kind of calls. And if you guys enjoyed it, leave a fire emoji in the comments. Let us know if you like this type of content.
Fire it up. Fire it up.
The more fire we make, man.
More fire, more fire.
Burn this place up, man. In a good way.
For real, for real.
All right, you guys. We'll see you guys on the next live stream. Actually, before we head out, C's, you want to come in? This live stream was made possible by the man C Santos, which I'm not sure if he's hearing right now.
He is amazing.
If you guys were on our Instagram live, look at him. This guy right here. What is he doing? Oh, he's right there.
I'm back here.
Hey.
I made this little spot so nobody can sneak up on these people. So.
On our Instagram, you guys will see what went into this live, and we're gonna continue to increase what we do, man. So
definitely.
Nothing would be possible without Caesar. 1,000%.
Definitely be sure to check out the description down below for all the information. I appreciate all the comments and stuff in the chat. You guys are awesome. So.
Yeah, amazing, guys. We're so pumped for the next one. Cool. So I think that's he's running in. I think we're gonna go offline and he told me to count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're out. I think.
Maybe.
Possibly. Nope. Hey, for those of you guys still watching, you're a real one.
Yeah.